very much. It's so good to see you all. I know we said we're going to do this in person, but I'm still surprised to see so many people in person. It's so good. I gotta do both mics here. In case you didn't notice, we also have some media friends in the room. Greetings to you all. I feel like the traditional thing is you're not supposed to acknowledge that you're in the room, but I prefer to recognize. We've got some really special people in the room that we've got to just welcome one time officially to their first official caucus. So if we could go through, I just have it in arbitrary order, but from Nanaimo Ladysmith, someone who was a school board trustee in the past, a big advocate for the community, and now member of parliament, Lisa Marie Barron is here. It's so awesome to have you back, or have Nanaimo Ladysmith back, and to have you here. So thank you for being here. It's so exciting. And this is your first official meeting, so we wanted to welcome you. We also have someone who's helped us double our representation in Alberta. Someone who has been working hard in the community as an executive director with the Métis settlements of Alberta. Someone who I saw inspire some young Indigenous kids, chatting with them, and I looked over and I thought, like, that's beautiful to see. Like, he was teaching them the language, he was teaching them to kind of believe in themselves, and they were like young kids. They're kind of seeing themselves older, and it was beautiful to see. And now Blake Desjardins is a member of Parliament, first Two-Spirit as well. You want me to stand up? Sorry, I'm going to stand up and do this. I did not read. I thought they were saying I should speak louder. So I was trying to speak louder, and that was not working. So, okay, good point. Thank you. And I also should mention, first Two-Spirited member of Parliament, which is really awesome. Keeping our land strategy going in terms of having on the map a lot of representation, which is beautiful to see whenever kids are looking at the map and they say, wow, that's a lot of orange. And I'm like, yes, that's a good sign, isn't it? I'm like, yes, it is. For sure it is. But more than that, someone who is an incredible voice for the community. I've been hearing lots of amazing things about this new member of parliament who is a lawyer, who went to school later on and then became a lawyer. And also raise a family, and also is a powerful voice for people in Nunavut, and will continue to be a new member of parliament, Laurie Idlout for Nunavut. And we're going to do a trip soon to Nunavut. We're already working on that. I think your team has already heard about that. So we lost by just 153 votes, one of the heartbreaking losses in the last election. Someone who kept on grinding, did not stop, kept on campaigning pretty much for the 2 years right through, like did not stop, kept on going. We did a bunch of meeting events together, and I was just so impressed by your dedication that you're going to continue to keep on working. Already working as a city councillor for your community. We are so excited that now, having lost by 153, won by 2,762 votes. Benita Zerillo from Port Moody, Coquitlam. And then I guess welcome to the rest of you all as well. No, a huge, amazing welcome to all of our incumbents. Every single incumbent this time, for the first time in a decade, every single incumbent who ran again won. And that's a really amazing feat. So thank you to all of you. That was awesome. We are going to have a chance to chat about the election, and I want you all to have that chat today. We ran a tough campaign. We fought hard. I'm proud of all the work that you all did. I'm proud of our newly elected MPs, and I'm proud of the campaign we ran, but we're all obviously disappointed as well. There were seats that we were so close to winning where there would have been incredible new MPs that would have been around this table with us that could have fought for their communities in a really important way. And so we're disappointed by the fact that there are some MPs that should be joining us here today. And there's a lot of close ridings. We were really close in a lot of places. So we've got to figure that out. So today I want to... we're still holding out hope, though. There's one, I don't know if you know, we finally got approved for a recount for Davenport, where we're 76 votes back right now. So that's exciting. Yeah. Breakthrough into Toronto would be nice. And Alejandra Bravo, for folks who don't know, she's someone I've worked with in the past. She is incredible, a powerhouse, and will be a great part of our team. So holding out for that one. But there are a lot of ridings like that where we were close. And so I'm looking forward to hearing some of your feedback. We've had a chance to chat already about some of that, but I'm looking forward to your feedback. There's things that went well in the campaign, and there's some things that didn't. So it's important for us to have a chat about that. So I look forward to hearing some of your input. Acknowledging that there are things that we need to do, and that I want us to get more New Democrats elected because I know it's going to make life better for people. I've initiated a review process, and I'll talk to you a bit more about that. But just so you know, we are enlisting the aid of some of the New Democratic world, the world's finest, in terms of folks that have won election campaigns, have been successful in winning government. So Bob Dewar has agreed to head it up, which is exciting. Bob, as folks know, has been responsible or been the campaign director in a lot of the big victories that we've had in provinces across, in the prairies in BC. So he's been really, really involved and has a lot to offer. We're going to have Ray Guardia, a part of that as well, who's been a big part of our Quebec team. So he'll be a part of that, as well as our party president, DJ Coley, and Rosanne Doré-Lefebvre, who's our, I think, are they here today as well? They're probably online though. Or are they in person? No. They're on Zoom. So hi on Zoom to our president and vice president. So they'll be a part of that as well. And Rosanne Doré-Lefebvre is not only our vice president, she was a previous MP, and she was also the party vice president, or she is the party's vice president. So she'll be a strong voice on that committee to help us come up with some real tangibles, some takeaways in terms of what we can do to move forward. So despite that we've got, just so you know, we've got a really extensive review that's going on, I still want to hear your feedback, and it's really important to hear what you want to say. I just wanted you to know that we're doing that review as well. So Canadians sent back a minority parliament. And for New Democrats, we know that what that means. They want to make parliament, they want to see it work for them. And that's been our goal. Throughout the pandemic, we were always focused on how do we make this parliament work for people. And we're going to have that same goal moving forward. Our goal was never in the minority government to tear down government, to cause an election. We wanted this parliament to work for people, and we're going to do that again. And the stakes are high. We're still dealing with the pandemic. Right now in Alberta and in Saskatchewan, they're seeing some of the worst of the pandemic. Things are really bad. We spoke to healthcare workers in Alberta. We spoke to folks in Saskatchewan recently, and things are really rough. It's really scary. So people need help, and we'll focus on the type of help we can get to them. We know that paid sick leave is an important tool to keep people safe in this time. We demanded it be expanded 22 times in the past 18 months. Each and every time, Mr. Trudeau said no. And then in the middle of the campaign, promised to bring in paid sick leave that actually worked. At what I think was one of the height of cynical moments, that to say no 22 times only to then say, oh, I'm going to do it in the middle of the campaign. So let's make that happen. If he says that's something important, let's get it done then. Let's make sure people have paid sick leave. We also know that there's going to be an upcoming throne speech, and we want to outline our priorities. So I'll invite you, in addition to some campaign feedback, to give me some of the priorities that you're hearing in your ridings. We've had a chance a bit to chat about that, but keep that in mind as well. I want to know from you all some of those priorities so that we can lay them out and work on what are the things that people need right now. Paid sick leave, of course, is something that would be concrete. The federal vaccine passport, lots of different provinces are coming up with approaches, but having a clear federal document that could be used to prove your vaccination is something we've long called for and seems to make a lot of sense. So, we can continue to push on that. We know that there are a lot of promises that were made that Canadians are counting on. Childcare is still top of mind, and people want to see that actually happen. Now's a chance. If the Liberals were serious about it, we can get that done. Fighting to protect our planet, reduce our emissions, fighting the climate crisis. That's something that's top of mind for people. Here's an opportunity. If the Liberals meant it, then let's get down and get some of that done. We also know that we don't know because, again, the Liberals say a lot of things and they don't really back it up. But in terms of justice for Indigenous people, if it's something important to the Liberals and if they claim here's an opportunity to do a couple of things right off the bat, stop taking kids to court. They were clearly told by the federal government that it was wrong, or by the court in the ruling that they had no grounds to be appealing that decision. And we're going to say, now stop. You've been chastised once again, multiple Canadian Human Rights Tribunal decisions, now another court decision. Stop. Just stop fighting these kids in court and implement the order. And we'll be pushing for that as well. We also know that housing remains a top concern everywhere in the country, everywhere we go. And I know Laurie and I talked about this in Nunavut. It's true in Indigenous communities, on reserve, off reserve, urban centers, rural and remote. Housing is one of the biggest concerns that people have in this country. And we are committed to making sure that we deliver on that. We want to see affordable housing that people can call home, that's in their budget. We want to see it built. We want to see it invested in. And we want to see the federal government not just make announcements, but actually deliver real concrete steps to building that affordable home, the affordable homes that people need. I mean, I don't like taking shots unnecessarily, but I mean, it was really telling that on the first ever day to recognize Truth and Reconciliation nationally, that the Prime Minister of the country on the first ever day would go and choose that day to take a vacation. And if we put aside, taking a shot at that in a partisan sense, what message that sent to Indigenous people who are hopeful that there would be a day where the country would reflect and take some time to reflect on what it meant to them, what it means to us as Canadians, what does it mean for our country that this is a real life legacy that is ongoing, that people are dealing with, the trauma that people are dealing with. To see the Prime Minister then to be so careless with his actions on a day that was that important really hurt a lot of people. And so it's going to make our job even more important to make sure they know they can count on us. Maybe there's no one else there, but there's certainly us. We'll be there to fight, to make sure that their voices are heard, that they're seen. And Blake and I were chatting about that, the idea of being seen, and that they matter, and we're going to fight for them. If our campaign, when we talked about taxing the billionaires, needed any more evidence, in a very powerfully timely way, right after the end of the election, we've now seen the release of the Pandora Papers, which again make the case that there are billionaires and extremely wealthy folks that are using currently legal techniques to hide their wealth in offshore tax havens, and that means people end up paying the price. And we've been talking about that in terms of it's cheating the system and it's bad, but I think something that really drives home how bad this is each one of those examples of cheating the system isn't just wrong because it's cheating the system. It means that was the hospital that a community needed that is gone. That was the funding for frontline healthcare workers who are right now struggling in this pandemic. That was the funding necessary to make sure we had clean drinking water for Indigenous people. That's the funding or the resources necessary to bring in pharmacare for all. It's the direct impact on people. Each one of those examples of billions of dollars being lost means that people don't get the help they need. They don't get the pharmacare. They don't get childcare. They don't get hospitals and infrastructure that we could be investing in. And that's why it matters. It's because that's the resources that people miss out on. Donc, on a beaucoup de travail à faire. On va faire exactement ce qu'on a fait pendant la pandémie. On va toujours cibler les priorités de monsieur, madame, tout le monde. Notre but, c'est de faire fonctionner ce gouvernement pour aider les gens. On va trouver dans chaque jour une opportunité de comment on peut avancer la justice pour les gens. Comment on peut faire face à la crise climatique? Comment on peut régler l'injustice contre la communauté autochtone? Comment on peut régler les inégalités dans notre société et comment on peut livrer la marchandise avec l'aide spécifique pour les gens. Et chaque jour, c'est notre travail et c'est exactement ce qu'on va faire. Et on va la faire ensemble avec notre équipe formidable, avec une équipe qui a de la passion, une équipe qui reconnaît les défis des gens et une équipe qui s'engage à faire tout ce qu'on peut pour bâtir une meilleure société. Et c'est ce qu'on va faire à chaque journée ensemble et c'est ce qu'on va faire pour inspirer les gens. Merci beaucoup.